Now that E3 is over, along with all its highs and lows, I think it's time to show the most hyped games confirmed in the past week. However, this is my personal preference from the least hype to the most hype. And more importantly, if you don't see any game that you like mentioned here, it's most likely because it's trash or I just forgot. Either way, before I start rambling on, let's begin. This is the Dark One's top anticipated games from E3 2019. First off, at number 15, we have Pokemon. Now, when I first saw this game, Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Sword, I instantly thought, this was the Pokemon game I wish that existed when I was a kid. You know, when you collect Pokemon stickers and cards. Sword and Shield looks gorgeous running on the Switch, but that was expected. However, what wasn't expected was the freely controllable camera or the wild areas where Pokemon freely roam. That sent me bonkers. I'll be honest, those features are both like a million times more exciting than the Dynamaxing aspect where you supersize Pokemon within battles. Yeah, not really a big fan of that. Unfortunately, thanks to this feature, Game Freak states that not all 800 Pokemon will be available in this or upcoming titles. Yeah, I prefer to have all the Pokemon than gigantic Pokemon, just saying. What can I say about Watch Dogs? Honestly, not a huge fan. You can play as 3 different classes: Enforcer, Infiltrator, and Hacker, who can be recruited from any NPC in the world. I don't see the concept of playing as any NPC as particularly interesting, but that may just come down to personal taste. Quality over quantity. The hacking seems basic, I guess, and the combat was ultimately meh for me. Apparently there are 5 main stories which span over 60 missions, but honestly my hype level is at a moderate for this game. It does have an interesting concept in general, but I just not really a big fan. Yeah, but I'm still a little bit more hyped for this game than Pokemon, and that's why it's number 14. Number 13. Now, Doom Eternal is a good looking game. It's essentially a very polished version of the previous Doom title, and that's a good thing, since the game was epic. This new game will have fewer health packs and ammo, essentially turning it into a demonic FPS survival game, which you can't help but love in concept. Control is a weird game, and it should be, since it's being made by the same studio that created one of my favorite games, Alan Wake. The general premise of the game is that you play a character named Jesse. It's her first day at work and everything goes wrong. Sound kinda little Half-Life to me, but okay. And a mysterious force called a Hiss floods the areas and infects people. Jesse, being the main character, has to stop them, but here's where the game gets trippy. There's levitation, telekinesis, and a shape-shifting pistol. And if this game is anything like Alan Wake, it will also have an interesting story to tell. Okay, so who asked for a Blair Witch game? Probably no one. However, we've got one, and if you had told me that this was Outlast 3, I would have believed you. The game looks stunningly terrifying, and I can say I am honestly excited, but I am a sucker for horror games, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this scaring me. Number 10 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, just by the title, you know it's a Call of Duty game. Guns, soldiers, multiplayer, the usual. However, what you may not know is that tons of game journalists, IGN in particular, have been saying negative things like it's too realistic. I mean, they were complaining that the game is too effing realistic. Now, I don't know about you, but games are art, and the closer art gets to realism, the better, in my opinion. Alright, none of that abstract BS. So I don't know what these pussies saw, but whatever it was has me excited to play this game. So Borderlands 3 is coming out in September, and I can't say I've ever been more excited. I mean, I was looking at the environment details since 2017. And for those who have been living under a rock or something, Borderlands 3 is a first-person shooter RPG made by Gearbox, conceived in the amniotic fluids of cartoony shell-shaded graphics. Also, the new character Fleck, the Beastmaster, has elemental pets, which I can't wait to use like Pokemon. Yeah, so there's that. Plus, previous entries had a gazillion guns, and yes, that's a thing, a gazillion guns. There's even a gun that shoots guns. Crazy, I know. But that's basically what Borderlands is all about. Crazy concepts, ridiculous characters, and tons of fun. What happens when you mix a world infested with zombies with parkour? You get the best workout ever, or you may just get Dying Light 2. Yeah, that's the thing. In this new game, apparently civilization has regressed back to Dark Ages, and your decisions in regards to resource management and the factions you join will impact the story heavily, but more noticeably, the city around you. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a sucker for horror games, but I'm pretty skeptical of Dying Light 2 because I haven't seen their nighttime mode yet, and if you've ever played the original, you know what I'm talking about. You know how the zombies get at night. Number 7 is Halo Infinity. There's not much to say about it. Like most games announced at E3, it didn't show any real gameplay or any new gameplay. It just showed a pre-rendered Master Chief with a stranded soldier. And I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't getting hyped, just imagine the graphical beats that 343 have reached. Also, I know I'm not the only one who freaked out when the pilot said, "We need to run," and Chief replied, "No, we need to fight." So amazing, oh god. I am one of those people who pride themselves on playing and beating every Zelda game, be it on console or handheld, so you already know I'm going to play this. The game trailer showed Zelda and Link exploring a cave where a purple corruption is filling the area, emanated from a mummified corpse. All the while creepy music plays in the background. I love it. It reminded me somewhat of the Twilight areas in Twilight Princess, but a little bit more unsettling. Thanks in part to the music. There's a ton of speculation whether short-haired Zelda would be a playable character, which is interesting somewhat. I don't really care. Also, apparently the developers of the game are taking inspirational cues from Red Dead Redemption, so we're probably gonna get some sort of food system or random world events as a welcome distraction. So yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 is more than likely not going to be releasing in 2020. Since the original debut trailer for the original game came out 3 years prior to the game's actual release. Number 5. So Star Wars Jedi The Fallen Order is one of the few games at E3 with actual gameplay. And I must say, from what I saw, I like it. It's basically you playing as a surviving Jedi Padawan after the events of Order 66. This game has a lot of similar beats to Force Unleashed, and I have a love-hate relationship with that game. On the one hand, it has a great concept, on the other hand, it was buggy as hell. Yet, I actually enjoy seeing the gameplay for Jedi The Fallen Order, even though the animations and movements seem a little dated. Everyone is excited for this game. I personally can say it actually caught me off guard how good it turned out, because as I like to say, overhyped things tend to flop when they can't live up to our expectations. However, Cyberpunk 2077 seems to be living up so far. The gameplay looks excellent, the story more than likely will be fantastic, and even if all of those other things fail, they have Keanu Reeves. So yeah, excited, not much more to say. Number 3, Death Stranding. Now this is the brainchild of Hideo Kojima, and to try to explain it to others is a daunting task, because it's very weird. Essentially, the world has been disconnected, your main character is trying to deliver some kind of package cross-country. There's a ladder, some shadow monsters that live in an upside-down world where war is still being fought continuously, and a baby in a bottle. So yeah, weird. Definitely a must play because I need a proper explanation for half that stuff. Number 2, Elden Ring. Okay, so I talk about this game a lot, even though there's hardly anything really to talk about. Besides that, it's made from Software, the developers of the infamously difficult Souls games, and by George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones. Now I could say this is a match made in heaven. I can't wait to see the lore and characters that are made along with the notoriously masochistic gameplay. But instead I'm going to say, George, go and finish the effing books. Honorable mentions.
Cat, they got pulsar tanks. Why do we go? Bury a friend, try to wake up.
Hello. Now, if you're part of the 50 odd people who watch my channel on a regular, you already know this was coming. FF7 Remake is the most anticipated game for me because I was waiting for a remastered version after I completed the original about 13 years ago. So yeah, they've upgraded the battle system to incorporate the best of both worlds, hack and slash and turn-based. I don't know how I feel about that. And also they set the first game entirely in Midgar. Also don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I suspect they will be able to pull it off. Hopefully. Hopefully. So yeah guys, that was the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree with my list or do you think it's utter trash? Because if it is, screw you. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the sub button. And if you want to burn innocent people in Westeros, just ring that bell. That's all. Again, I'm the Dark One, and I'll see you guys next time.